Hey y'all, how's it going? It's your boy Canarlos. We here in the flesh. We doing it right. And I'm here today to talk to you about a topic that I know we might struggle with from time to time, but it's something that we have to continue to do. And that's about understanding, knowing, and executing on our limits. It's like, what do you mean limits? Like, well, there's things that we shouldn't pass or we shouldn't do. They're limits, they're boundaries. And we pass that, we could get hurt, whether it's physically, it's professionally, it's mentally, or even spiritually, right? And it's important because not knowing what's going to hurt you is almost like saying it's okay to get slapped in the face. Like, it's okay. It's okay to be hurt. And yeah, it is okay, but not if you're doing it purposefully. It's almost like you're becoming a masochist, or you are one, if you continue down that road. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I believe that if we know our limits and we know what's going to get us hurt, maybe we could live a more fulfilled life. Maybe we don't have to go through the healing process as much as we would if we didn't know. And I know it's difficult. Trust, I know it's difficult to not only know the limit, but to act on it. Because sometimes there are outside forces coming in and extenuating circumstances that make us not want to act on those limits because something is greater than the limit. Like for me, in my mind, I think playing sports more and having more fun is more important than the state of my knees. And it's like, it sucks. It sucks to have that limit. It sucks to understand that the body is not able to go where I want it to go in the moment that I'm in. But that's a reality. So even though I could push it and I could do what I need to do, and I have been making great progress, because I'm not always good at it, because sometimes I'll sacrifice my needs for that day to have a little bit more fun, but then again, it's like, Kennard, you're hurting yourself. Right? And sometimes on the mental side, right, is Kennard, this is bad company. You're not supposed to be doing it, but you're a little lonely. So it's like the limit is, I know that this company is triggering, but sometimes you want to be in that company because sometimes you feel that you don't have anybody else. And I think that's real. And it's this line that we flirt with, because sometimes, just like with my knees or with the company, there's a point of no return that we might enter that we may not get back. And we might have to heal longer and take longer to get where we're at right now because we decided to just do a little bit more. And I understand, like, you don't want the limit, but it's there. So if you're ignoring the limit, you're almost ignoring your happiness. Because you know that if you pass it and you get hurt, you're not going to be happy. And I know that when my knees hurt, I'm not happy. I know that when I'm not good here, I'm not happy. And maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe this happens for some other people. But knowing your limits and understanding yourself, that's the key to mindfulness. That's the key to growth. And even if you want it, what's the cost? Even on the professional side, we care about our work. We care about the mission of our professional development or even just our careers. But sometimes the way that we go about it or the circles that we're in, we don't get to fight or achieve the accomplishments that we would like. at the rate in which we want, at the rate at which we would like. So we push, but then it's like, if you go past this line, you're flirting with the potential of maybe getting fired, maybe getting written up. And it's not to scare anybody, because I think some boundaries are meant to be flirted with, and some sacrifices are meant to be experienced. But at the same time, what is the cost? Are you okay with that? And it's like, I don't want to get fired. I don't want my knees to collapse. I don't want my mental state to go wrong. But there are limits where we have to work with the limits. So even though it's a limit, doesn't mean that we're going to stop. Right? It doesn't mean that I stop playing sports. It doesn't mean that I stop finding different company. It doesn't mean that you stop fighting for the professional development or for your career. It means you work around it. It means you do what you can so that you can grow, so that your limit is not here, but it's here. And then it's here. But that only happens when you're patient with your own development and you're patient with the reality that exists. Because if we're not, we're only going to get hurt. Knowing your limits is one thing. But you have to be able to execute your limits, to limit the healing that you'll have to endure after you might get hurt. So let's think about it and let's execute. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.